Okie dokie. They didn't start yet, did they? Okay. So we're dogging it. Are we streaming? Okay. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the BCA, Foothill BCA Pool League's Heads Up Division Championship Saturday at Golden Q Billiards. This is Corey Harper here with Frank the Barber Almanza, and we're watching, let's see, the first match we're watching here is the Railbirds, which is our #1 seed, versus the Centennials. And the player that you've got on the screen there just now, besides Scott's head here, Scott, okay, is V. Vu. He's a player for the Centennials.
No, we're playing just a regular standard game of 9-ball here, where there's no call pocket and no calling in the 9-ball.
And shooting here, this is Alex Marxian for the Railbirds. I like swinging at that 7-ball, just to make something, and maybe the 2 will come back.
Well, you know, he's pretty tight on the rail with the cue ball. He'd have to kind of draw the ball over there.
Got to jack up.
Yeah, that's kind of tough to do. I think he has a better chance of running it towards the 4-ball and taking a cue ball on the other side of the table, which is all right. Anytime you leave a bank, it's you know, your opponent has to consider banking or playing a safety. And myself, I would probably play a safety here instead of banking it, because there's no guarantee you get a good shot on the 3-ball.
Yeah, I like banking this all the way up the table in the middle of the end rail if I can, and park the cue ball at the other end in the middle of the rail.
Correct.
With the 8 and the 5 in between. I'm not sure if he's got an angle to do that, though.
Well, you'd have to hit it somewhat of a thin hit, and the cue ball can go just back and forth across the table if you wanted to take the 2-ball over to where the Brunswick nameplate's at.
It's not too bad what he tried, he just didn't get there. Most of the players in this division are pretty good players. This division that we've got here is a no handicap division, so they all play dead even. The teams are selected via a draft system, so there were 8 captains and then 40 players that are eligible for the draft, and those captains went ahead and selected them based on a lottery order. There are 5 players per team, but only 3 are going to play each match.
Interesting.
And they play a combination of 9-ball and 10-ball. So they start off with 1 game of 9-ball, and these 2 players will play each other 1 more game. That'll be a rack of 10-ball, and then the players will change after that. It looked like he went the wrong direction to me.
I think he was trying to break it out.
Boy, whenever that object ball's sitting right inside the hole, to try to like draw, you know, with a power draw and be real accurate about it, it's kind of tough.
It is tough. Yeah, you should look to see if there's a way that you can get to that 5-ball by rolling the cue ball instead of trying to draw.
Now, V. Vu here is, if I'm not mistaken, I think he may have finished as our straightest shooter in the division. And that he would have gotten that title by the most wins through the season. So we keep stats on the entire season that these guys play, win percentages, the number of racks won, how many break-and runs. We got all kinds of stuff that we're keeping track of for this one. For those out there that are familiar with, like, let's say an APA handicapping system, most of the people in this division are going to be your skill levels 5, 6, and 7. regardless.
So they're all the upper level players.
Yeah. We've had a couple of players that are a little bit lower in the skill level give it a go, but you know, it takes kind of a special personality or special character to get beat and step back up and try again, you know?
Sure.
And so several of them just kind of go, well, I think it's a little too strong for me. And although in my opinion, that's exactly where they ought to be, is they need to be playing with better players.
Well, you know, if you want to, like most of us, you know, we want to get better at the game. And the best way to get better at the game is to play people that are to your skill level or better. Otherwise, you're winding up playing people that you can beat anyway. So when you do that, you don't really apply yourself because you know you're going to win.
It causes you to develop lazy habits. You go, I'm going to beat this guy anyway. I don't need to try so hard. Well, that's horrible for your game. And so we don't count the 10 ball on the break in any pocket. It'll get spotted right back up if you made it.
So the rules are just the same way that the pros would play this game. If there's no luck involved, no two-way shots. You can't call two balls. You got to call one or the other. And if you make a ball, when you're kicking at a ball and you make it in a pocket unintentionally, then your opponent has the choice of taking the shot from there or giving it back to you.
Yep. I played a different variation of this out in Europe, where, let's say, for example, if I called a ball in a corner pocket, and I just missed it, I didn't luck anything in, I just didn't make the ball, my opponent could make me shoot again if the leave was bad.
Interesting.
That's the way they were playing it out there, and this was in Spain just about 6 years ago. And I didn't know any better. I was playing Oliver Wortman. Oliver Wortman shot a ball, missed it, left me hook. I kicked at it. Somebody, Niels Fahan's girlfriend, then now wife, Kat, comes over and tells me, I don't think you know exactly what you're doing. I just start laughing. I said, well, what do you mean? She says, you could have made Oliver shoot that ball. I said, yeah, I kind of figured that out after the match was over.
That's funny.
But over here in the United States, we haven't adopted that system just yet. They play all ball fouls over there and all that too. Something I've always liked about this particular player is he's just got a really nice stroke. Of course, when he tries to stroke that ball,
You know, he might have miscued on that shot.
I think he did. Did he bump that 5 ball with his tip? I thought he did, yeah. He bumped that 5 ball was coming at him, and his cue was still out there, and the follow through, and the 5 hit his tip.
And it's nice to see that the sportsmanship that he called the foul on himself.
Now these teams in this division play on Monday nights out of the cue ball in Alhambra, California, and this is a non-traveling league, so it's all in-house. They all play at the same pool room every Monday. We've got 8 teams out there. And so these guys, even if they're not competing against one another on a particular night, they all see each other every week. You know, there's been a couple of seasons that most of them have been in here, or in this division. They've all kind of gotten to know each other, and they've had an opportunity to study one another's game, and there seems to be a pretty good camaraderie and a great deal of respect that's been developed, you know, with one another. It's nice to see in players of a skill level that are usually just highly competitive. I mean, they're still highly competitive, but respectful, you know, it's nice.
Well, he stroked that ball real nice, but inside English coming out 2 rails for a 10, which is probably one of the more difficult shots to do on the pool game.
Yeah, he's got a nice stroke. I like watching him play. So our score now is, did V win the first game? I think he might have won the first game. We'll get the score up on the screen here in a moment for you.
So now we're changing opponents?
Correct. So they just play the two games. They played a game of 8-ball, or a game of 9-ball, a game of 10-ball, and now the opponents change. So V is, let's see, he was teammates with, I don't see who his teammate is that's going to play Chris just yet. Alex is a teammate with Chris, who just was driving the balls here. Chris is actually the team captain of the Railbirds.
Okay, so we're looking at 9-ball and then 10-ball, and will there be any 8-ball involved in this tournament?
No 8-ball with this division, but we've got another division in the background that's playing their playoffs as well, and they play a similar format where they play one game of 8-ball and then one game of 9-ball.
Oh, okay.
So they don't play 10-ball.
No, yeah, 10-ball is a little bit more difficult for the lower level players.
Right. And that division that plays 8-ball and 9-ball, that's called our Big Track division, and they are a handicap division. Each player has a rating that applies towards a total that's deducted off of a team's score, either deducted or added, just depending on how it works out. So who we're looking at here, this is Miguel, and Miguel is playing Chris. Miguel's teammates with Vivu, and Chris's teammates with Alex that was just up before. And the present score is 1-1. Railbirds has 1 and Centennials also has 1. They just get a point for each game that they win.
Okay.
And then at the end of, they play a total of 18 games. At the end of the 18 games, whoever's got the higher score, well, that's the winner, moves on to the next match. This is a semifinal match that we're watching. And since it's an even number of 18 games, it is possible to have a 9-9 match. If a match does go 9-9, then as a tiebreaker, they're going to shoot spot shots.
Something we don't see anymore in pool spot shots.
Yeah, I miss them.
Yeah, this is it. Pretty good. Nice.
Can't remember last time one came up, but I'm sure I missed it. So if a team actually reaches 10 points in this match, the match is over. They don't have to play the full 18 games. All right, so we're playing 9-ball, so that counts.
Well, that was a pretty fortunate shot for him there. Not only did he make it, but he wound up with nice precision on the 7-ball to get on the 8-ball.
That's
nicely done.
Yeah. Now, most of these guys in this division I've seen around, or I've known them for many years, but there's one or two in the division that I haven't seen play too much, and one of them is Miguel here. Thus far, I'm a little impressed.
Very nicely done.
Nice shot. So the score is now 2-1 for the Centennials.
And we go to 10-ball now. They rotate the break.
It's alternate the break. And then on their score sheet, each team has 5 players, but they're going to need to select before the match starts. Just 3 of them that are going to compete in this match. And the home team has the advantage of being able to make changes to their roster. The visiting team needs to present all 3 of the players that are going to play this match, and no changes can be made. The home team presents their 3, but let's say if when the third player's due to come up, something happens, an emergency, whatever it is, and they need to go ahead and bring another player into that spot, that's fine as the home team. But once the 3 players begin, you can't change anything. But the visiting team can't change anything, period. That's the advantage of being the home team. So our home team here is the Railbirds, and they're the home team because they're the #1 seed. At the end of the season, they finished in first place. The Centennials, their opponent, is actually a wild card team. The top 3 come here to playoffs. The 4th one is selected at random. That's the wild card. And we had kind of a little special way of selecting the wild card here, selecting the Centennials, which was we numbered some tennis balls for those teams that were eligible for the wild card, numbered them 1 through 4, threw them and had Scott's dog chase after them, and whichever one the dog picked, that's who's here. and we've got that on video. You can find that on Facebook.
I think I saw that on Facebook. It was pretty good. Now this format that you're using for this tournament here, I know it's not something that the BCA has put together, but it's something that you and your crew have done.
Yeah.
Now, what if other people in other areas of the city or the county or the state wanted to do something like this? Can they contact you to get the information? Is something that you have written down and so forth?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, we're working on some things to make it so that we can spread this concept and some other ideas that we've got beyond our region. We're just not quite ready yet to solicit anybody to do that. We've had people come to us from as far out as Santa Clarita that wanted to do this same setup. We're just not prepared to go with it just yet.
Yeah.
Later in the year, that's the plan.
Well, it looks like Chris wound up with a ball in hand with a combination of 110, and it looks fairly routine.
And Chris here, he's done real well in our league. His teams, or teams that he's captained in our league over the last 2 or 3 seasons, have finished in first place. As a captain, he's done very well. He's probably our most successful captain.
So now the score is tied up.
Tied up 2-2. And now who we've got coming up racking the balls here is Sylvan Ung. And Sylvan is a Railbird. And I think he's going to be playing, if I'm not mistaken, I don't remember who their 3rd player is on Centennials. It's either Chris Joseph or it's Justin Yao. And we need to get this guy. One second. Okay, back
So,
for
Corey,
us.
on this match here, like this one here, they start off with 9 ball, or is there a choice, or they flip a coin to see whether it's 9 ball or 10 ball for the first game?
Well, initially, we had it in the rules that to decide which game was going to be the game to start with, each team captain would flip a coin, or the team captains would flip a coin. The winner of the coin flip chooses which game you're going to start with, and then it stays in that order throughout the night. But over the 2 seasons and in practice, everybody just chose 9 ball. So there's almost no point in it.
Oh, okay.
They all said
Well,
9
now
ball
how
anyway,
is
so we just start with 9 ball.
How is the first break determined?
The first break is determined on on the score sheet. There is a bold letter B on the score sheet for the 2 games that are going to be played between one player and another, and that B determines who the first breaker is. It's going to be in the position of one of the players or the other, and the second game is going to be broken by the player that didn't break the first game.
Oh, okay. Well, sounds like you pretty much have all the bases covered then.
Yeah, we're trying.
Now, are jump sticks allowed?
You know, the jump cues are allowed. As a BCA rule, jump cues are allowed, but the issue is a phenolic tip. And within our league, we really don't care if you're going to use a phenolic tip, a G10 tip, whatever tip you want to use, because we get to operate a little more independently than following whatever the rules of BCA say.
Okay.
However, we have stressed and told every one of them, because it is a BCA sanctioned league, and you can qualify yourself or a team to play at BCA Nationals, understand that at BCA Nationals there are restrictions about what tip you can use. You know, you can't use a phenolic tip or whatever, but you can use, there are certain hard tips you can use, like an icebreaker tip or a Samsara tip.
So then that phenolic tip, well, that would go for jumping and breaking then?
Yeah, for us within the division, that's fine. If, you know, I haven't discovered any equipment that we felt was some sort of unfair advantage. And I understand the mentality behind the limits on phenolic or G10 tips, because they can potentially damage the balls. You know, we just remind them that at the national level, if you go to play at nationals, this is what the rules are going to be.
Right, yeah.
So the smart ones have decided to make those changes here during the season so that they don't have to make a change at nationals.
Well, this young man's made a couple of real very good shots here.
Yeah, I thought he's a promising player. He's a young guy. He's kind of spitfire, likes to swing. Yeah. I like that in a player a lot.
Especially in a game of 9 ball, 10 ball, that's something great to have, is the firepower to make these tough shots.
Yeah. His name is Sylvan Ung, and this is might be his 3rd, maybe even 4th season with us. I think he actually we've been doing this just over a year, and I think Sylvan might have played every season with us so far. And in the background, the table adjacent is our big track division. That's the handicap one. You've got Team Feltfish playing Great Balls of Fire.
Well, he wound up with a little difficult shot here. It's not enough angle, and he's got to come off the rail pretty good to get a good shot on the 9 ball, so it requires a little bit more speed than I'd like to shoot it with.
It doesn't look to me like he's got to go to the rail. If he uses some pinch left, yeah, come straight back.
Nice stroke he has. Yeah. Beautiful shot. Well, Corey, I'm highly impressed with this boy's skills.
Yeah.
Very nicely done.
Nicely done.
Starting off with the jump shot.
So it's one more for the Railbirds. So we got a score of 3-2 for the Railbirds. And our mindset behind these divisions is trying to use divisions as a bit of development divisions, and then this heads-up division is our marquee division. the attention grabbers, the stronger players. So each player in the big track division has a player rating, and their player rating could be anywhere from what's called a plus minus 6, and that is determined strictly by the number of games that they win. Let's say, for example, a player wins 6 games their first night. Next week when they come in, because they've only had 1 week of play, they'll come in as a plus 6. So their team will have to give up 6 points because of their record. Well, what if on the next night they only win 3 games? Okay, well, on the next night there would be, let's see, a total of 9 games that they've won, right?
Okay.
3 games that they lost. So they would still be at a record of plus 6, but you divide it by the number of weeks played. So they played 2 weeks. So now that player would be designated a plus 3. So a team has to give 3 points handicap for that player if they choose to play that one. And it just keeps kind of going that way on and on and on. And eventually the handicap or the rating settles down pretty well, where a player is just whatever designation they are for like an entire season. I've got some people that maybe they're a minus 1. That just means that, with that calculation, that they don't win half the games.
Okay.
A 0 wins half of the games they play. But it's initially, when everybody kind of got started, they're seeing these fluctuations going, man, plus 6, minus whatever. They go, oh man, it's like crazy. They don't understand it. So just calm down a little bit and, give it a little bit of time. Because as you divide it by more weeks, it stabilizes pretty well and doesn't really change,
Yeah.
Although I know one team for today, their player, and we don't do any sort of adjustments or managements of these numbers on our own. It's all done through a computer system. There's no way to cheat it per se, because it's just based on your wins and losses and number of weeks played. Like, there's no secret to it.
Yeah.
It's completely transparent. We don't go like, oh, if you play defense, then it's worth this and worth that. And there's none of that stuff, But one of the players on a team, a big track playoff team, apparently was right on the cusp and had a great night the last night of the season, and it pushed that player from a -1 from a -2 to a -1. Well, that little 1 point difference could make a big difference for their team,
Well, he's on the 1 ball here. It looks like a 2-rail kick at it. It's probably the best option here, but I don't see anything that's possible that could go in. He's calling the 10 ball in the corner pocket, I believe.
Well, if I weren't concerned about getting 3 fouled, I would just probably give a guy a ball in hand there.
Yeah, well, give him ball in hand here. With a 3 foul, that's just...
And we do play 3 foul. In fact, that's what I think he's supposed to do, is he's supposed to just play another safety here and lock him behind the 7.
Yeah. If I have the intention of playing 3 fouls, I like to leave the 1 ball in that cluster there, instead of leaving the cue ball there and sending the 1 ball away.
Well,
By leaving the 1 ball in that cluster there, and if you can get the cue ball to an area where it's hard to hit the 1 ball, well, that cluster is going to keep you from getting a good hit on it.
He's got a free shot in there. He could play that 1-3-10 combination and lock the cue ball right behind the 7. Right?
Yes.
So let's say the combination goes. Well, you call it, of course.
Yeah.
You win. If it doesn't go,
well,
you
you're
got him
safe.
locked, and you got him in exactly that spot that you were talking about having the 1 in.
Yeah.
Could have got a lot more done there.
Good idea, but a little bit too hard.
And who we're watching shoot just then, that's Justin Yao. He's the captain of the Centennials. And if anybody out there is looking for more information on the Foothill BCA Pool League, you can find us at www.foothillbca.com, or of course on Facebook, Foothill BCA Pool League.
This is a little tricky one to get position on there. You either got to get the cue ball by where the 5 is, if you want to play the 3 ball in one corner. If you want to play the other corner, you got to kick the cue ball over by the 6 and 8, and both of them are tough to get to.
You can't, either one of them, you can't get to the 4 from there.
That's right.
All you're doing is playing position to play safe.
Yeah, yeah. That's what he did, too.
A little firmer, it might have worked out. That's probably the hole that's actually in. Most of these players, they play pretty well. At the local level, they shoot pretty straight. But defense, man. Whenever I come out to league nights, I watch and I go, man, these guys just really need to build up on defense.
Yeah. Yeah, well, on that last shot when he played the safe there, I don't know if he had the opportunity to move that cue ball a little tighter to the 9 or the 10. That would have kept, or it would have made the hit on the 3 much tougher. That was a nice shot there.
And in fact, one of the guys that plays in one of these divisions, I noticed that him to be a highly defensive player. But the safeties that he was playing, I told him, I said, that's not good enough. I said, you're getting the hook, but you're leaving a lot of space between balls and stuff. People just jump those things and they kick them like nothing. And like, as this player continues in their own development, like your safeties are going to need to get a lot tighter. So because you're going to keep playing better and better players, and I said those players, not only they're going to hit those, they're going to hit and make those and play safe back on you. Your defense needs to be way tighter. So in fact, I think many of the ones in these divisions that feel like to be a better player they need to make more balls, I think they're sorely mistaken. They need to play better defense. They already shoot the balls, fair enough. And they'll shoot the balls better getting a lot of ball in hands,
Well, you and I both know that defense is a huge part of this game. And you don't necessarily have to be the best ball pocketer to win games like this if you have a good, solid defensive game.
Yeah.
He's got a ball in hand on his 3 balls, so he's got a lot of options. I think he's trying to figure out what's the best way to get to the 5 ball from the 4.
It looks kind of tricky. Can't quite tell. I thought he might have hooked himself a little bit there. I guess not.
No, he's fine.
Okay. So the only trouble I see with it is that he's got to do a lot of back and forth. He's got to go from one rail to the other for the 5 and then back to the same rail for the 6.
Well, yeah, that was the nature of that little run out. It was not easy. It wasn't like a stop type of deal. You have to really move the cue ball with a lot of finesse.
And then balls like the 8, 9, and 10 are kind of interfering, just from being able to have some freedom of movement.
Obstacle course.
Exactly. Like some miniature golf. That's a nice shot there.
That was a beautiful shot. Makes it hard to kick at, too.
Yeah. He might be able to see a sliver of it, but I don't think he can really do anything with it as far as playing good defense back.
Of course, any time that you can hit the ball, no matter how you hit it, it's always better than to give up ball in hand.
Took a stab at it. Actually, that worked out pretty good. If he had made the ball, well, he can see the 5 and maybe do something with it.
Well,
at this speed, if he didn't make it, it's okay.
Like right now, this young man's got a shot at the 4 ball on the bank shot, but he's going to leave himself far from the 5. I'm sure that's why he's not playing the bank.
Yeah.
And I think that he played the smarter shot.
Well, I think we're seeing a little bit the difference in their game's personality, too. Justin seems to be a little bit more of a defensive-minded player. 'Cause I've seen a couple of them where I thought maybe the 4-ball bank could have been worthwhile. Maybe it wasn't, but he didn't even really look at it. Just went straight into that safety.
Well, Corey, again, when you're playing, like this is a race to 2, right? I mean, it's not a race to 2, but they're playing 2 games, one 9-ball, one 10-ball. So each game has a lot of emphasis behind it. Taking one bad shot is big in a set like this where you're just playing one game, where every one game really means a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, because in fact, each player in a match only plays a total of 6 racks. 6 racks the entire match.
It's not like you're playing a race to 5 or 6 or something where you can afford to make a mistake and lose a game and still come back and win the set. But here it's one game. There's a lot of tension, a lot of pressure on it.
Right, and every single point counts for your team's total, and
Yeah, and you're taking that into consideration. It's not just you that would lose this game on a wild shot, but you're losing for your team. You know? And
I don't think I could handle it. Yeah, we've seen in some nights where at the end of last season, a player, the game that this player was playing, if they won that rack, well, their team goes to playoffs. That player didn't know that, was completely oblivious to the whole thing, and I could see that his entire team standing behind him, they completely knew exactly what position they were in, and they're telling one another, don't tell him, don't say a damn thing, you know. And the guy, when he and his opponent, they were playing a rack of 9-ball. They both shot at the 9-ball a couple times and missed it, and everybody was just really on edge. And then this particular teammate, he went ahead and made the shot, and these guys are just super excited, yelling and screaming. The other guy doesn't understand what's the big deal. They just won one game. They said, no, that was the one.
That was the whole enchilada.
Yeah. He said he had no idea whatsoever. Oh, and that's a smart team.
Don't put the pressure on him. Don't let him know.
Yeah, that's a wise team to know whether or not their player can handle it. You know, a nice little jump shot. Oh. Well, he left him an open shot.
He's got a shot here.
Yeah, I've actually personally have developed quite a bit more respect for team pool over the years. Because I mean, I never saw it as a team thing. It was an individual sport, you know. But having been exposed to some of the leagues over the years and getting to know people that are playing, and I start watching a little bit here and there, and you can really see the team dynamic, you know, once you're looking for it.
Oh yeah, well what really shows that is the Moscone Cup format that they have. You know, you have all these top players. I mean, the best players in the world are playing each other.
Right.
And there's a lot of tension on every shot because it's not just you. It's your team. It's for your country, and it's the pressure is really. I can't imagine being under that kind of pressure myself.
Yeah, a lot of heat. And most of the time when I watch that Moscone Cup, those pockets don't look that tough. And compared to some of the tables that you play on in the big tournaments sometimes, but under that pressure, boy, they get tight.
Either that or the balls get bigger.
Yeah. In fact, this division, we're introducing a trophy this season. The previous seasons, this is a cash league, so these teams that finish in the top 3 through playoffs, so they end up getting some prize money. But we didn't have any sort of awards or anything like that. But now we've got a little trophy over there for the team that wins, and that's kind of loosely based on a Moscone Cup trophy. This is called the Fast Eddie Cup, from The Color of Money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we've got it sitting there so these players can see what one of the things they're going for. So what we try to do is every season we try to just build, add some more things, more incentives for players, just whatever we can to keep the league growing.
I was talking earlier with Scott Duché. Is that his name?
Scott Doucette, yeah, that's my partner in the Foothill BCA.
Yeah, and he was telling me that you guys have been kicking around the idea of maybe playing like a Moscone Cup format with the different, say, San Gabriel Valley. What's your division? It's
ours is the Foothill BCA.
Yeah. Maybe doing something like that. That would really bring up a lot of interest in the game. Doing something like that.
Yeah, we've got some big plans for this stuff. We need to work on. Right now, we're working primarily on infrastructure. So we're actually doing quite a bit behind the scenes. Where at one time we had 3 divisions. Right now we just have 2 divisions. But we pushed a lot of player growth initially, where we think it's a little more important to spend some time and money. We're investing quite a little bit on infrastructure, so that once we get that set up a little bit better, we can start pushing the player growth. So later in the year, we're going to start pushing for 3, 4, 5 divisions and grow outside of the Foothill region. Is essentially Pasadena area. Pasadena is where we're centralized, where our office is. And these folks play in Burbank or in Alhambra. It's just kind of around that Pasadena area. But we can, once we get done with some of the infrastructure, we can start working on regions well beyond that. And then we can really start pushing to get more players. And like I said, we had some interest from Santa Clarita to start a division like this, but we don't have the infrastructure to support it. So we said, okay, well, we need to let's work on that. And once we get things there built up enough so that we can work remotely at times or whatever, then we can start pushing for that stuff. And once we have some divisions that going out into other regions, yeah, absolutely. At the end of the seasons, at the end of twice a year, once a year, or whatever it is, start putting together some things to bring them all together.
Well, we got ball in hand here. He's trying to decide, I guess, getting position on the 10 ball is the problem here. I think he's going to have to play them both in the same pocket.
That looks good to me. Well, that's an interesting way of doing it.
Actually, there was 2 ways. That way there, just straight draw, or a little angle and just sliding the cue ball over. And I think what he wanted to do was guaranteed to make the 9 ball without having to,
he didn't want to put that little pinch stroke
angle
on it.
Yeah. So it's how much you feel comfortable in shots like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't fault it at all. Matter of fact, if I'm not too familiar with the equipment, I probably would play that shot that way.
So it looks like the Railbirds have taken a little bit of a lead, 4-2.
4-2.
So what's just been completed, we've completed 6 games, so 1 round of play is completed. There would be 2 more rounds of play. They've got a score sheet that tells them who plays next, and because the same 3 players won't play. Let's say the Railbirds had, who was their first player? Miguel? No. Alex. The Railbirds had Alex play first, then Chris, and then Sylvan. So they won't play necessarily that same rotation again. Or at least, I'm sorry, the home team will play that same rotation, but the visiting team will not play the same rotation that they had. They don't get the luxury of developing a rhythm. Where the home team does. The home team can have that kind of little rhythm going. They can take breaks, whatever. They know exactly when they're going to play next. The visiting team, as you can see, Miguel here is back up, where I think Miguel was up second in the first round, but he's up first in the second round.
So his team is like waterfalling, and the other team's going to stay the same.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Absolutely. And so even like, let's say the visiting team, the first player for the visiting team actually ends up being like the last player in the night or something like that. So they have big gaps in there. They might have to sit down for quite a while, get cold or whatever. And we haven't seen it happen too much yet, but we're only into the second season of this. But people, the team captains, developing some strategy around that, because there really is potential advantage to home team in selection.
Yeah.
But the teams that we're watching now, next season, which the next season starts on February the 15th. You won't see these teams again. You'll see these players again, but they're not going to be on the same teams again. Every season, it goes to a draft. So some of the captains will remain the same, but everybody's going back into the draft, all the rest of the players. And we keep stats on these players. Scott and I write scouting reports. Any sort of stats that we can find on any one of the players in the draft, we provide that in the scouting reports. Our own personal opinions or observations. So the captains are generally pretty well informed about who potentially they have to choose from. And one of the smartest captains I've seen, he didn't know just about anybody that was in the draft, so he picked up the phone and just called somebody else he knew that knew everybody. And they sat on the phone for a couple hours.
That makes sense.
Yeah, where I've seen some others just kind of go in a little bit blindly. Well, of course, the captain that did that, his team was in the playoffs last season. And they're provided these scouting reports about, I think it's 4 days or so just before the draft. And the draft is done online. All the captains log into a software. It's all done live. One team picks, one captain will pick a player, and then the next captain has 3 minutes to select their player, and so on. Just goes down the list. There's a lot of chatting that happens during that, and they're ribbing one another on who took who, I made a good hit.
I see my buddy Russ Martin over at the other end of the room there playing. Is he in that division over there?
No, actually, the division that we're watching right now, Russ is the captain of a team here in the Heads Up division. His team will be playing the next match. So right now, the Railbirds, which were the number 1 seed, are playing the Wild Card Centennials. The next matchup on the TV table will be the Runouts, that were the 2nd seed, versus, what was their team name? The Road Players. And Russ captains. You know what? Russ is actually just a visitor today. His team didn't make it to playoffs.
Oh, okay.
Now, last season, his team won. And in fact, last season, he was the straightest shooter of the division. So we have some individual prizes, like prize money if you get the most points during the whole season and that kind of. So Russ was the strongest player last season, and his team won the whole thing. Today, he's just a supporter. Yeah, I think his team actually finished in 4th position, which was not a playoff position.
Yeah.
And they did not get the wild card. So my apologies. We won't be seeing Russ play later unless you can see all the way down at the end there, him practicing. But he's been a regular player, and many of them from the beginning. This is the end of our 4th season. We've got quite a few that have played every single season that we've had, multiple divisions. We've got a pretty good support, pretty good following, and kind of a nice culture that's developing with these folks. It's different. It's very different than some of the other leagues. Made 2 for 1. I think he's got a decent shot here on the side pocket.
It's a tough cut, but yeah. I think that's the best option if he wants to try to pocket it, other than trying to play safe with it.
That's a tough one to see.
It is. It's a tough one. Those kind of shots are so important to have a level cue on because you don't want the cue ball to do anything funny when it comes off your cue stick.
Yeah, any little bit of elevation, you might get some curve out of it, and just that little baby bit is all the difference. He's going to leave it right in front of the hole. Yeah. And the Centennials pick up one more game. Tighten it back up a little bit. 4-3. Railbirds leading.
So whoever breaks the 9 ball doesn't break the 10 ball.
Correct.
You don't ever have the same team breaking both of them.
That's a good question. I'd have to look at the score sheet to work that one out. You probably got it right, but because this team has a score sheet that they're working from, although every time they win a game, they're marking it up on the wire for us so that we can keep track.
Okay.
I don't know how he can get on to do anything with that two
I think
ball.
he can move it. I think he tried to move it, open it up a little bit.
I wonder if this combination goes.
No, it's too much. It's too much off angle. You'd have to hit the ball real thin, the 2 ball real thin on the outside to cut the 9 in. And in doing that, who knows where the cue ball is going. It's a big shot though, because where the 3 ball's sitting, if you give a shot on the 2, then you're probably giving up a chance for the opponent to run out.
Well, these tables are actually a little bit tighter than they're used to. They play the regular season over at the Cue Ball in Alhambra, and they play on some old diamond tables, which are the original or second generation diamond tables, which play pretty good, but the pockets are a little bit wider than they are here, so they might be a little bit intimidated by looking at a smaller pocket here.
Yeah,
even though the ball actually, in my opinion, it goes easier here. Because the ones at the cue ball, the opening is flared a little bit more than here. So here, the stuff will go down the rail a lot cleaner than it will over there.
Well, I played the hot seat match here with Ken Hoshida in the 1 pocket last month. And I did see how tough it is to make the balls, because I had a lot of difficulty in banking the balls. I thought I hit them good, and they just wouldn't go in.
They play real short.
Short, yeah, they did, yeah.
Now, the cloth that's on the tables here, if I'm not mistaken, this is not Simonis. This is, actually, it looks like it. Oh, it looks like it. That sure looks like Simonis, doesn't it?
It's got a little bit more nap than Simonis has.
Does it?
Unless I'm looking at the wrong side of it. No, it's Simonis.
Okay.
Now, we're at the hard times. They're using that Andy claw. Which I think it's pretty nice. It's they both play somewhat. I mean, as long as they're not drastically different from each other, they're okay.
I've played on I played on that Andy cloth when they put it on, and also played on some stuff called Eliminator that they had at Hollywood Billiards for a short time. The color of the cloth was red. That was horrible. But the way that the cloth played actually wasn't too bad. It had a real sandpaper-ish type of feel to it when you drag your fingers across it, but the ball never skidded. That's what I liked about it a lot, is the ball never skidded. Where in Simonis, the ball will slip and slide all over the place until it wears in.
Yeah.
But the other thing, it just never skidded, so it could hold a line, or it could track really well. But who knows how that stuff wears, because nobody's had it long enough to know, you know.
I remember playing on that cloth. I don't remember much about it. I do remember the red chalk, though.
Oh yeah, that's horrible.
It would take a month for it to come off my stick.
Yeah. And after I was done playing, I'd look at my fingers, and my fingertips had all worn off.
Like they're bloody,
because as I bring my bridge hand in, I slide it across the cloth. And I was wearing off my fingerprints. Well, if that had gone in, it wouldn't have counted. 10 ball, he's got to call his pocket.
Well, looking at this table here, all the balls have a pocket. Maybe the 5 ball might be the only difficult one, because the 7 ball is blocking the pocket that it's next to. But if you can get past the 5 ball, the 6, 7, 8, they all go.
Might be hard pressed just getting position on this 3 ball. Looks like he needs to go 2 rails.
They go come out and come to one side of the table and come back, like pretty much like that. This is the key shot right here. Might have to play the combination on the 7 with the 5.
Yeah, I think you're right. That 5 does not look like it's going to go past the 7. I might just go ahead and duck here. And
Yeah, I think a safety's probably better here.
Well, you know what? He might be able to kick that in.
Go around the 6.
Yeah, he might be able to
Yeah, it's just
spin.
the way the 7 ball's hitting. Anywhere you hit the 5 ball, it looks like a 7 ball.
Help it out.
Help it in. The only thing is that you got to hit it soft in order to stay with position on the 6. If you have to spin
Calling
it,
for a referee.
if you have to spin to get to the 5 ball, then the cue ball is going to take off down to the other end of the table.
We got Scott Doucette as referee. Yeah, that was a good hit. You know, it was a good hit, but even if he had made the ball as hard as he hit it, he'd have had nothing on the 6 ball. That should have been a soft spin.
Yeah, soft spin, which is what you needed anyway to hold shape on the
On the 6. Yeah. Well, it would have helped him make that ball probably too, because a soft spin, he could have hit that 5 a little more full and thrown it in.
Or even hit it like he did, but because he hit it with all that speed, when it hit the facing of the pocket, it kicked it back to the other facing.
Yeah, jawed up. Okay, we got our referee at back. I don't think you need a referee for this one.
No, I don't think so.
We got a few more people filing into the room here. Our first round was starting at 10:30. We've got another round starting at 1:30, so some of the players playing at 1:30 start trickling in a little bit. And we've invited all of the members of the Foothill BCA Pool League to come out in the festivities, so we're not limited to just the folks that are playing in the event today. We're providing some breakfast donuts, some lunchtime pizza, great environment, and thank you to Ken Oshida for offering up his pool room for us.
Well, Corey, how do you play this year? I think I would take my chances a little soft with some outside. Very soft.
I might bump the 10.
Yeah, I like to stay on this side over here. Well, at least he's in a position to play a good safety.
I might have played just high ball, not really. I didn't need any right that I could see, but a high ball, and just have it roll back that way and tickle the 10.
Okay.
And I would open up the 8 for the same hole. If I can't hold the ball, as far as spinning it the way he did.
I think that I would have played it with softly with some outside, maybe hitting it about 2 o'clock on the cue
And try to
ball.
hold your cue ball?
Well, because you're going to hit the ball a lot fuller than you think.
Oh, and come into the 8?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No,
Okay.
no, stay on. Don't mess with the 8. Just leave the 8 where it was. But using a little bit right English on the 7 ball, that allows you to hit the 7 ball a little bit fuller because you're going to open it up.
Hit
a
it
little
fat
bit.
and throw it in the hole.
Yeah, and then that leaves the cue ball there.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I was saying if I can hold it. If I can't hold it.
Yeah, there's a certain point where the cut's too much to
Yeah,
do that shot,
yeah.
but I think in that particular spot there, it could have been done.
And with students, I've brought that stuff up before. That most of them are always trying to make more balls and make more balls. I say what you need to do more than anything is develop your stroke, because to the shot like you're talking about, you know
It's a
what?
technique
The
involved.
average Joe can't execute that stroke. You know.
But if you can learn to do things like that, that's going to put
That's
you way
huge.
ahead of your opponent.
Exactly.
If you can do it and they can't, well, then they're
Exactly.
actually spotting you.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
saying, here, I'm going to let you do this,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to do it.
You develop your stroke, and there's going to be things that you can do that other people just can't. You're going to give yourself so many more opportunities. You're going to essentially playing a simpler game, an easier game than the others. Oh man, that was tough.
He got a good roll on that cue
He
ball.
did.
He hit the point of the side pocket and kept him from selling out.
It looks to me like that 10's frozen. And if that 10's frozen, he can make this ball in that
Just spin
left
it in.
pocket.
Yeah. The thing is that you got to have the confidence to go for it. Because
Yeah.
if you shoot at it and don't hit it at all, well,
Give
then
ball
you,
in.
yeah.
Yeah, it's high risk shot.
Another shot is to
Nope.
hit the other side of the ball. Well,
Played
that's probably
safe.
best to let your opponent have to make a good shot instead of you playing a bad one and just selling out. This is a good bank to go for. Just make sure that you don't play it short. I mean, rather, you don't play it long.
Yeah. You don't want to leave it in front of the hole if you miss it. That's the right way to hit it, right in the middle. Nice bank. All right, and looks like the Railbirds are ahead 5-3.
5-3.
They're halfway there. How'd you end up doing? Didn't you go out to Texas to go play in the round pocket tournament? Because we were trying to get you out here for our last playoffs. I think you were traveling over there.
Yeah. I had a good time. I matched out with a few games, and I did I won all the games I matched out with. But in the tournament, my first match, I drew the toughest player in that area there, and he was the highest bid in the Calcutta. So it tells you that he could play, and he beat me 4-2. But I wasn't quite ready for that tournament that particular day. I didn't get a good chance to get warmed up. And, he played well. I'm not taking anything away from that. But at 4-2, and I can recall a couple of shots that I missed because it was a real tight table that I missed. If I make those shots, I win those 2 games because everything was wide open. But instead of me making balls, he makes them.
Well, it was a nice break there. That was a real good break. Which pool room was that tournament at?
At a place called Bogies.
Okay.
And they have 2 bogeys over in that area, from my understanding. I just went to the one of them. But nice place, good people, nice people. That
Your first time there?
The first time there, yeah.
It looks like he's jacked up over this 9 ball here to shoot this 2. So, that's kind of a tough spot
was
to be
tough.
in with that tree hook Because even if he chose to play safe from there, he's still jacked up on that too. So you might as well shoot.
I also shoot at it.
But he left Chris tough.
Well, Chris has the option of cutting the 2-ball to the rail and get it behind the 4-ball and take the cue ball on the other side of the 8-ball.
And this is Chris Santana, world famous. He's media director, if I'm not mistaken, for Oscar's tour, the Mez West State tour. He also has a graphic design company called Fast and Loose. Does a lot of interesting things, including his T-shirt that says Sandbagger. That shot's super tough. He tried to slow roll that and get him hooked.
If he'd have cut it a little bit more, the 2-ball would have went to the rail and come back and touched the 4-ball, and that would give enough speed for the cue ball to get on the other side of the 8. Sometimes distance is going to tell you what you got to do, because the distance on that shot that he tried to do was just too tough. It was too delicate for all that distance.
Yeah, I don't like doing stuff like that on tables that I know.
Much less on ones that you don't know.
Exactly. Can't tell if he's got a good angle to get on this 4, but he can definitely make the 3 on the side.
Oh, a little firmer would have been good.
Yeah, because he's got some... even if he makes his ball, I don't think he can get position on that 6.
No, it takes a real high-level player to do this. You'd have to cut it and spin it with right bottom and come out 2 rails to get for the 8-6, but that's a tough shot.
He might choose some defense here instead. Oh, well, he likes shooting at it. See, I never like taking that line to go up on that 6-ball, because he's coming up on a line that's going like directly at it through that middle of the table. If it stops anywhere, he's got terrible position until he gets to the 6-ball.
Yeah, I think I would have hit it a little thinner and used a little bit of right to keep it.
To stay on the left side.
Right.
Yeah. You could even go 2 rails if you used a little bit of inside, hit it real thin, and hit that second rail and use the spin to pull you up further. But he tried to get over on the more difficult side, I think, of that 6-ball. That's what hurt him.
Well, he got a little bit fortunate there. He didn't leave anything that's worth playing. I think there's nothing but a safety involved here. Maybe just banking a 6-ball 1 rail to the end rail and leaving your opponent long.
Boy, he put a lot of juice on that thing, didn't he?
He sure did.
Well, now he's going to end up having to go around the table to get back to the 9.
He's looking to see if there's a scratch here. Even if there's not a scratch, it's he's going to wind up long on the 9-ball.
I think his thoughts on worrying about where the cue ball went probably distracted him from pocketing the ball.
Right, yeah.
But he got away with it pretty good. No, he ended up leaving him a shot.
Yeah, he just gave it away.
He got double kiss when he came down.
Kiss coming out.
Well, it looks like the Railbirds are pulling away. We got a 6-game to 3 lead. So have you been getting invites to some of these tournaments, like that one in Texas? Is there any more coming up like that?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
What's next on the schedule?
Well, they're going to have another one over there in April. This one coming up there in April is going to be for 65 and over. The one I played in was 70 and over.
Well, he racked them himself. We got nobody to blame for that.
Well, actually, it came out pretty good. Look, he's got a nice shot on the one and the 2 balls out in the open for the next shot.
Yeah, it did work out, but he wasn't too pleased initially.
I wouldn't mind slugging myself that way.
Yeah. And that is how we play. We play rack your own. We try to reduce as much of the drama or the theater as we can. Which, you know what, I don't know that there's ever going to be a solution for that, as far as who racks the balls and whether it favors one person or another or change the game.
I think tournaments, the bigger tournaments, what they should do is just get the referee or whoever's in charge just to rack them, and you can't go up and look at them. You just rack them and shoot.
I played in the World Championships in Taiwan back in 2004, and the referee was racking the balls for us, and I'd go over and look at them, and they were a disaster. And I would tell them, I go, wait a minute. I go, this ball here, this ball needs to be, they need to be touching, And the rule of the tournament was that there wasn't anything I could do about it anyway, you know? And besides that, the language barrier was so strong, he didn't know what the hell I was talking about to begin with, you know? But so it was just, he just says, break please, and I go, wait a minute, And, I don't know that, unfortunately, as poorly as I played in that tournament, it had nothing to do with the racks.
Well, of course, in a situation like that, you're getting the same rack the other guy's getting. So if that's the case,
I wonder.
Okay.
Well, I think Efren was my opponent in that match, and I'm pretty sure that Efren got a better rack than I did. Philippines is a little closer to Taiwan than the United States.
You're a funny man, Corey.
These were like preliminary rounds. We were only racing to 5. I lost to Efren 5-3 or something like that. But at one point when it was 2-2 and I was looking to come out in the lead at 3-2, Efren's sitting right in front of me, directly in my line, and I'm down on the 8 ball. And as I'm down on the 8, he drops his cue.
Oh, wow.
He's sitting in his chair in my line, and he drops his cue as I'm down on that 8 ball. And I caught it before I actually executed the shot, so I stood up, and I started laughing. I couldn't stop laughing because I go, did the best player of all time really just try to shark me? And you know what? He did. And you know what? I didn't let the thought leave my mind when I got back down and finally shot, and I did dog that shot.
Oh my goodness!
That's what I got.
It worked then.
But at least it did work. But it didn't distract. I didn't shoot when he did it. It's still
it's still there. It's still lingering in the back of your mind.
But that particular tournament, I remember some of the American players, some of the other ones like Johnny Archer or who else was out there. Charlie Williams, I don't remember. There was a bunch of them out there, but they were having some similar complaints about the racks. That especially if you were playing in a match against a local player, because the local government or the local nation, whoever hosted the World Championships, would get a number of wild card spots, and they'd have qualifiers and such around there. But that some of the more local players were getting more favorable racks. That's not exclusive to that nation.
Well, I guess the best way to get around all this is to use the magic rack.
I just found it.
Oh, okay, I'll try it. Thanks. The magic rack.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with the magic rack is that even I can make a ball on the break.
Yeah, exactly. If you can make a ball on the break every time, what's the point of the break anyway?
Yeah. I break and then I can position for the next ball. But then you got the top-notch players. They have the pattern the whole rack.
I'd show people over at my shop. I go, watch this. I go, I'll break these balls, tell you exactly what's going to happen. You know, with the pattern rack and with racking them myself and with a fixed position for the rack. I go, I'm going to break these balls. I'm going to draw 2 rails. I'm going to get straight in on the one. The corner ball's going to fly in, and this is going to be the pattern. And I'd show them. There it is. And they look like it was a magic trick. I said, there's no magic to it. I said, that's just how predictable 9-ball is, you know?
Yeah.
Well, that's why 10 ball's more of the preferred game at the higher level. That's why we worked it into the league, because this division, being the stronger players in the area, felt that there's an opportunity for them to learn the game of 10 ball and kind of bridge the gap between league play and semi-professional weekend tournaments and stuff like that. Because a lot of those are 10 ball or 9 ball.
Well, you know, the players that we're watching here, you know, they're not pro level or anything like that, but they're up and coming. They're good players, and these are the guys that down the line we're going to be seeing them in the bigger tournaments.
Yeah, these are the ones that are out playing on the weekends in like the Mez West State Tour, Swannies, stuff like that. And you know, through all this stuff, some good players are going to come out of all this. Boy, I wonder, did you think you'd be playing this much pool after 65 and 70, etc., with all these age-specific tournaments?
Well,
they didn't have a lot of those a number of years ago. Well, it didn't matter for you at the time. But that's pretty cool.
Well, like my wife said to me not too long ago, she says, well, if you're not playing pool, what are you going to be doing?
Yeah.
She says that's what happens when you get old. You quit moving around, quit doing things, and then you really get old.
Yeah.
And for me, I enjoy the game. I still like pushing the balls around the table, win or lose. I mean, nobody likes to lose, but, you know, it's just part of the game. But if you enjoy it, just keep playing. Why not?
Do you find yourself learning?
Doing what?
Do you find yourself still learning new things about the game?
There's always things to learn.
Nice shot. That's something Nick Barnard told me when I was a kid. He says you never learn everything with this game. You're always going to keep pushing and trying to learn something new. And at the time, you know, Nick was the #1 player in the world. And I'm looking at the #1 player in the world is telling me that he doesn't know everything. He might be the first person to admit that, you know, out there in the pool world.
But, you know, yeah, because, you know, you could be playing this game and you can wind up with the same identical shot over and over and over, but there's always so many ways to hit that shot, and a lot of times it depends on your disposition for that particular day, how you're going to attack that shot. Am I going to go bottom, stroke, left? Am I going to go forward? Or am I going to hit it soft? Am I going to hit? Because the same shot is not hit the same way every time that you see it.
Well, there might be other variations. The cloth, the equipment might play a little bit differently. It might be humid that day, dry that day. It looks like Chris is hooked on this 9-ball, but it almost looks like you could masse a little bit, do some right masse around that 10-ball to try to make it. But it's real tricky.
I'll tell you, if you really are in a bad spot here, the best thing is to kick at it real soft, going to the short rail, and just put the cue ball right on top of the 9-ball.
Just bunt at it.
That guarantees more or less that you're going to shoot again.
Yeah. He's going 3 rails at it. Okay, he made a hit, and he scratched. I think he might have had actually a decent shot to go 1 rail, hit the 9 on the high side.
On the high side,
and
bring the
kind of
9-ball back to the short rail.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
take the cue ball up table.
Yep. I think that shot was there.
Yeah, you know, that shot, that's a one-pocket shot that you do a lot. But, however, there's still a lot of pitfalls for that shot. If you wind up trying to hit it thin and you miss it completely, or you hit it too fat, you got a double kiss and then it stays right in front of the hole.
Yeah. missed that one pretty good. Well, look at that. He got a little bit of a roll, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
I didn't expect him to miss that one, but if you're going to miss it, that's a pretty good way to do it.
Yeah, but you notice that last shot that he just played, that he missed, and his stick was up in the air in the back end.
Oh, was he jacked up?
Yeah, and not much, but enough to possibly destroy the shot.
This is a pretty tough shot here. That was a pretty damn tough shot.
Well, for his team, it wasn't critical. For this team here, it is.
Oh yeah.
Being down 6-3. On this shot here, the main thing you got to concern yourself with, other than pocketing the ball, is to scratch in the side pocket.
Where's this cue ball
Or
going?
the corner.
Where's the cue ball going? Oh man, that was close. I'm gonna need to excuse myself for 1 second here, Frank. We
Yeah.
gotta go ahead and order lunch.
All right, go ahead. Well, Scott, how's things doing?
Everything's going pretty good, Frank. That was a monster break by V. Too bad he couldn't control the cue ball. He hit him pretty good.
Well, this last break, I noticed that 9-ball didn't even move a quarter of an inch.
Yeah, it's probably a tight rack. So that wing ball flew right in. Looks like we're going to have a safety battle here.
Well, once somebody gets a shot, though, all the balls are wide open, so
Yeah.
you have to be very careful on the safety play.
Yep. Looks like
Well,
he can see.
He can see it, but I don't
yeah.
think he's got enough to make it, though.
No.
What makes the shot difficult is that where the 3 and 9 is, because that's his escape route to get the cue ball out of there.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Very well done. This is a pretty interesting format that you guys come up with on this for this tournament. Very nice. You and Corey.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems to work out pretty well. The players like it. And I like the no handicap myself. I like the heads up play.
Well, you know, if you want to get tough, if you want to get better, that's what you got to do.
That's for sure.
And that's what we all want to do. We want to get better.
Yep. Ooh. Got a little bit of a roll there.
Looks like another safety coming up here. I don't see it to make the ball and get position.
Nope. I think he leaked it.
Well, making this ball here at the worst is going to give up something on the 9 ball from the 3 to the 9.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be tough to get on the 3. So the only thing left would be either to play safe on the 3 or take a flyer on the 9 ball.
That's why I would just concentrate on making the ball and not to get too much better and try to get chancy and miss the 1 ball.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like that. Try to do too much, and you wind up rattling the ball. That was a good shot.
That was an excellent shot.
It's on the right side of the 3 to come up for the 5.
Now, has this young man played one of the prior matches here? It seems to me like this is the first time I've seen him at the table.
He's a regular here at Golden Q. He played a match earlier. I think he played the first match of the day. Yeah, he's got a real nice stroke, good feel for the game.
He's got to come 2 rails forward and come between the 6 and 7.
Unless the 6 passes the 7. I think the 6 might pass the 7.
Well, in either way, the other shot was better because you were going to get up close to it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it goes past the 7. Well, looking at the monitor, it doesn't look like it does.
It's still tough to hold the cue ball from here for the 7.
You got a slow roller if you want to hold the cue ball.
Yeah, I like your idea better coming out on the short side. A little bit easier to play position on the 7 ball.
This young man shooting now, I'm very impressed with the first match that I saw him play. He started off with a jump shot and then made some real difficult shots to get out. He ran the table real nice.
Yeah, 7 plays well. Good shot. It is a little bit of a tester here.
He looks like he has a little bit of an angle. But yeah, I would shoot this shot with high English, just hit it firm, but no spin of any kind. Just to make the ball and then to get off the short rail, maybe a couple of feet.
Okay. Like that?
That was nice.
Hit that pretty good from where he was. Cut it in the corner, come out 2 rows for the 8 in the side, and you should be out.
Yeah, 2 rails. It's a delicate shot. You got to spin the ball real nice and with a little bit of bottom to come out of the corner pretty deep.
Yeah.
I think the problem is the stretching here. A left-hander probably wouldn't have much problem with this one, but being a right-handed,
yeah. His right cue extender would come in handy.
That was a nice way to do it too. Probably
Wow.
not as delicate, but same results.
Yeah.
Just slow roll it. You wind up just right.
Yep.
Problem is with this shot here, you'll have a tendency to hit the 8-ball too fat to try to make sure the cue ball stays there.
That's
So
why
you,
you gotta spin it a little bit. Oh, he cheated the pocket, hit it good. Yeah, that was nice. Yeah, normally I like to hit that a little fatter with some right spin to hold the cue ball. Throw the ball in the pocket.
right?
You
Yeah,
hit it good.
yeah. You throw the ball a little bit, help you.
Good out. Real good out. Railbirds are inching closer.
I'm highly impressed with this boy's skills. Did everything very well.
Railbirds need 3 more to advance to the championship match.
Now they rotate the break right for the 9 and 10 ball.
Yeah.
Not the same player on both of them.
We'll have another matchup after this one, the second semifinal. They'll start at around 1:30, and then we'll have the championship match after that. I'm not sure who would be up next after Sylvan and V finish this set. There'll be another 2 that'll come in and play.
Okay.
I'm not sure who's after them though. Wow. Ten-ball break is so difficult. I seem to hop a little bit off the rail.
It was the speed. Yeah, I have trouble with 10 ball breaks. Well, at my age, though, I have trouble with the 9 ball breaks too on the big table. But playing with the 10 ball break, I actually do better these days playing 10 ball tournaments than I do 9 ball, only because my opponent doesn't break his run as much.
Yeah.
Well, that could be the makings of a short game with that 10 ball winding up there.
I think so.
As a matter of fact, he should try to get on it now, get on the 3 to the 10. What do you think, Scott? Can it be done with the 5 ball? Because it's sitting pretty much to the side of the pocket.
If he gets on the right side of the 5, I think he could carom it. I don't know about the combination.
Yeah, actually, just about where the...
Oh, there you go. Good shot.
That was another way.
Wow.
That was a great shot.
Really good shot. I didn't think he was going to go for it on
No,
that.
I didn't either, but obviously, I didn't know he called it, but obviously he did because it is a called pocket game.
Yeah. Race to 10. We're getting close. I think it's 8.
8, I believe.
8-4. If Alex can win these 2, we'll put the Railbirds into the final. You still have that beautiful Centennial at your house, Frank?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, plays nice. Almost ready to get recovered. Probably another couple of months. I'll be calling Ernesto.
Nice. What do you like to do here, Frank?
Well, I push out first before I do anything. There's no reason to take this shot at that distance, and with the ball's not at your choosing. And even if you give it to your opponent, he's got a lot of difficulty with it.
Yeah. That wasn't ideal.
Yeah, but at least give your opponent something difficult. Maybe say it with the same difficulty you have there. He might decide to shoot it and do you a favor.
Yeah.
But if he's smart, then he just give it back to you.
Right.
But at least you give him one chance to say, okay, I'll take it.
It's kind of a traffic jam down there with the 5, 6, and 9.
They're going to have to be moved, mainly because the 6 is not pocketable. I don't think it goes past the 9 ball.
No, I don't think so either.
And a good time would have been to get an angle. Well, actually, right now with the 2 ball, run into him with good speed. With the 3 ball where it is, the chances are you will wind up with a shot on it. Now the run's going to be very difficult now. Had he run into those balls and opened them up, chances are he'd have a shot on the 3.
Right.
At least its percentages says that you would. And if you do get a shot on the 3, then everything's wide open.
Yeah. I don't think he can hit him from here. Nope. But, he's okay. Unless, now he can break him up from here.
Well, the 5 is makeable. Now, I mean, I would position to get on the 5 to make it. With the 5, you could go forward and move the balls, maybe hit the 9 ball, don't move them. But you need to get in the right spot for that.
Right.
Maybe at around between the first and second diamond on the long rail would give you the right angle.
Looks like he's hitting low right, maybe trying to break him up.
No, he's doing what I said, but he just overran it though.
Yeah.
Making this ball will put you in trouble.
Yeah, I'm thinking thin it and send the cue ball up table, maybe get behind the 7 or 8.
Or maybe bank it towards the 6 ball and take the cue ball up tail.
Yeah.
But that's a little dangerous though. I hate leaving the ball you're shooting at next to the money ball. That almost tells you that you're going to lose that game when you do that.
Yep.
Maybe give up ball in hand. If it doesn't go past the 9 ball, I think giving up ball in hand's a better thing here than trying to move it. You'd have to hit it very thin.
I think that's what he's going to try. Yeah.
He was a little fortunate that he didn't sell it out completely. However, the only advantage that this young man has is that when he makes the ball, he doesn't have to worry about position on the 7 ball, so he can put all the emphasis on just making this ball.
Yeah, you can pretty much get on the 8 from almost anywhere on the table with the 7 where it is.
I'd make this ball with left bottom, even if I have to wind up on the short rail. You know, you hit the long rail and then wind up the cue ball on the short rail. That would have been more on the control and safer if you missed it.
Yeah.
Because cue ball being on the short rail, chances are you don't give up a shot other than something long on the 6 ball.
Right. I was watching Justin play earlier. He normally plays better than he's playing today. I think he might have a little bit of nerves going on. He normally doesn't make mistakes like that.
He put himself in trouble trying to get closer to it.
Yep.
Yeah, when he shot that 6 ball, the more experience you get, you realize that longer is better than trying to get closer if you've got a chance to hook yourself trying to get closer. Gonna roll it in the other side pocket.
Yeah. Wants a little angle so he can come off that rail with the 8 ball, get on the 9.
Oh, that's a beautiful angle.
Yep.
With that angle there, you can roll it now. You don't have to punch it or stab it or anything. They come across the table, you're coming out just perfect.
It's just natural.
That's the, if I had ball in hand, that's where I would put it
Yep.
to get on the 9. But see, now he's cueing it a little low. That's going to make the shot more difficult to get on the 9.
Banked it in. Pocket speed.
Should have shot that ball the way he shot the 8 ball. Rolled it nice and smooth.
Yep. Especially these pockets. They're probably like 4 1/8.
Yeah, they're a little tight. I was just telling Corey, I played a hot seat match here last month for the in one pocket, and that's when I realized that the pockets they're a little snug.
But when you hit them slow, they play bigger.
Yeah, well, sure, you got a better chance to pocket the ball. That was a nice shot. He's fine.
Good shot.
Eight to 5.
They're inching back.
So Scott, you do you run the league with Corey?
Yeah, Corey and I are co-league operators, so we both organize and run the league. Been doing it for about a year. Right now we're running 2 divisions. We have right around 100 players.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, it's doing pretty well. The players seem to like the formats, and we got a lot of players that have been with us from the beginning. So they keep coming back. So now we're looking to expand. There's a nice jump shot over there on the.
Unfortunately, he hooked himself.
Yeah. Looks like a push out coming.
On this other table, we're
Another
looking
jump
at
shot.
a jump shot now. I don't think
Nope.
I've ever seen anybody attempt a jump shot from that part of the table, unless you're almost 7 feet tall.
That helps.
You almost got away with it.
What would you like to push out to here, Frank?
I give a bank before I give anything. Maybe take the 8-ball over here. Give them a bank where they can't move the cue ball towards the 2-ball.
Okay. I think he's going to get this back.
You know, when you're playing push out, if you're the more creative player, you can push to a spot where you can play a safety, but the safety is something that's concealed from your opponent. He doesn't know that safety is there until after you do it. He gives it back to you, then you make the safety, and he's going to say, wow, I should have saw that. Oh my goodness, nice shot.
Very nice shot.
This is tough here, though. He's got a small window to get shape. I think he's got to get tight on the long rail to get a shot on the 4.
Yeah.
A little bit too hard there.
Get a window? Nope.
I don't think
Dead
so.
hooked.
Yeah,
Dead
he'd have
hooked.
to be tight to the rail to get a shot on it.
Made a good hit. I think he's hooked. You might be able to see a
You
sliver
can
of
see
it.
it. You can see part of it. Myself, I can see a part of it. I would kick it and try to just get it past the 9 and the 6.
Table's pretty wide open. I think the key here is the 5 to the 6. If he can get good on the 5.
Oh yeah. The only difficulty I see on this run is a 7 to the 8, which is not very difficult at all. So this is the key shot here to get good on the 5.
Yeah. Nope.
That's a good shot. Yeah, the ball in hand was critical to get good on that 5
It
ball.
was. I think he can see us. I think he can see the paint.
Yeah, enough to cut it in. Looks like it'll go past the 9. Scott, like I always said, the hardest part about an easy table is to keep it easy.
Yep. Absolutely. Keep it simple. That's all you gotta do.
He's looking at it as if he can't hit it, but on the monitor it looks like he can.
Looks like he can see it. I don't know if he can see enough of it to cut it past the 9, but he can definitely hit it.
Even if he can't, it's always best to hit it than
Yeah.
to try to kick at it and miss it.
Absolutely. Oh wow, he saw a lot. He could see a lot of
Yeah,
it.
he had a lot of it. He could have made it past the 9.
Yeah, definitely. You like using inside here to kill the cue ball off the rail, shoot the 6 down in the corner?
No, I think I take two rails out for the same pocket you're
Okay.
talking to, because using outside English is more conducive to making the shot than using the inside.
Gotcha. I don't think he used any English.
Yeah, well, see if he'd have spun a little bit and caught the second round, then come out, then he can get the ball pretty straight and close to it.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a challenge to get on the 7 here.
Just don't hit the 10 ball. I think he's okay. Just draw it, go to the side rail and come out.
That was actually a nice shot.
That's always the best way to do it if you can do it that way. Less speed is better for pocketing the ball.
Yeah.
That way, if you mishit it a little bit, it'll still slide in.
Exactly. Yeah, going to that side rail, he would have had to open the stroke up a little bit. Didn't quite get there.
Because he hit it too hard, a little softer with the same spin, and
When it
the
came
ball
out.
would have grabbed the rails a little bit better and came out.
Yeah.
Well, one good thing about this shot, if he makes it, he's going to automatically have shape. Unless he gets hooked with the 10 ball.
Right.
That's the only thing that can go wrong here if he makes the ball.
If he puts a little left, the likelihood of him getting hooked on the 10 is it decreases. But if he just hits center ball or puts top on
Yeah,
it,
he's heading right to the 10 ball.
yeah,
So I would shoot it with enough speed that if I went to hit 10 ball, I'd move the 10. It wouldn't be in the way.
I don't think it's frozen.
No, it's off about a quarter of an inch.
I don't think he needs to jump here.
I certainly wonder there's no percentages in making the jump. You hit it, you're going to get a double kiss.
Yeah.
So you might as well kick at it. Well, he's got a lot of ball to hit here, but getting shape is now difficult. I believe he has to play it to his corner right, which is the easier pocket for him, and that means that the cue ball's running away from the 9 ball. So if he wants a shot on that 9 ball, he's going to have to hit it pretty firm.
I wonder if he can draw it to the side rail with some left spin.
That's going to take too much. You may not even get a good shot on the 9 even with that. 'Cause the draw and spin required is just extreme. And that's what he's going to try to do.
Yeah. Good shot. Just slow rolling with some follow. He's got the 10 on the side.
Yeah, and actually the shot for the roll is just about right, because that way it's not really a slow roll. It's just enough to get the cue ball to run to the 10.
Yeah.
That was good speed.
Good
That's
shot.
exactly like that. He needs to keep his stick level here on this shot. See, he's jacking up a little bit. No reason for that.
Didn't see that coming. Oh, you gotta hit that.
That was not an easy shot.
No, it wasn't.
The way I would hit it, I would have cut it, but I would use inside English. That way I can hit it firm, and I didn't have control of the cue ball, just going back and forth.
Looks like me and Chris Santana are up next.
Well, the match has tightened up a little bit now.
It is.
8-6.
V is very capable of winning these two games and tying this thing up. Key match here.
Corey was telling me that if it comes down to where it's tied or so at the very end, that it comes down to a contest of spot shots.
Spot shot shootout.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
Yeah. Some of the players like it and some of them hate it.
Well, they hate it because who shoots spot shots anymore?
The guys that like it are generally one pocket players or ring game players. So
Yeah.
you know, they see spot shots, but the other guys not so much. There's a bit of a slug rock, huh?
That ball didn't move nothing.
4 and the 8 are still froze.
Yeah. Wait, did you notice that the cue ball had a lot of lift when it came down on the ball?
Yeah.
It came off the table a couple of inches then before it came down.
Right.
When your cue ball does that and you're aware of it, you either need to move your cue ball forward a little bit from where you're breaking or bring it back a little bit so that when it strikes the head ball, it's not hitting it on the way down or on the way up.
Yeah. Chris tried to run into the 8 on that shot on the 1. He missed him.
Yeah, it was good timing. Well, at this point, it's not critical with the 4 ball the way it is.
Yeah, no. That's critical.
Yeah. Yeah, he got pretty aggressive there. He was trying to break it out.
Looks like he's on the wrong side of the 3. He got fortunate. He got real fortunate.
Very fortunate.
He's tough. The 6 is in the way to kick it. It looks like if he tries to thin it, he might scratch.
Yeah, he's going to have to draw if he wants to thin it to keep from scratching.
Good shot.
He came right off with a good shot. Well, Chris has got a shot now to get behind the 9 ball. No, he should go the other way. Go the other way around the 9. Go around the 4 to the 9.
Yeah, that's a good path. Window.
Well, leaving a window is not all that critical here because of the distance, and there's not really nothing he can do with it. He has to try to play another safety here.
Try to snook him on the 5. Left it open again. I would have almost liked shooting that bank shot because you could have stopped the cue ball for the 4 ball and then come out 2 rails for the 5.
You gotta be careful when you're playing safe not to put the ball near the money ball.
Yep.
Throughout my years, you get very aware of that when you're playing people and you're spotting most of them a ball, or and you have to always, when you're pushing balls, keep them away from the money.
Yep.
Because he's got a shot right here. Oh, hit it too fat.
Is that you or is that me?
It's still not all that easy. The 5 ball is pretty well tucked away here.
Yeah. It's a tough rock. If he gets right on this 4 ball, he can slide the cue ball up.
Yeah,
And that's the 5.
Nice little angle. You get a nice little angle, you can go over and you just gently nudge the 7 out of the way.
Yep. No.
Well, there's still another way to do this here. 3 rails into it.
Play short side?
No, go towards the 7 ball.
Like that. He got fortunate that V can't see the 4. That was a good try. I like trying to hit that ball 2 rails.
2 rails is always better.
Yeah.
It's more consistent.
And he would have got good separation too if he would have hit it.
Well, he's a little straighter than he wanted on that 5 ball.
Yeah.
This is a tough shot.
This is a real tough shot.
It is a tough shot. I think you got to go high inside and just make sure that you get around the 9 ball.
The 8 and the 9 are big.
He's looking for a draw, which I don't like at all.
I like your shot, Frank. Coming.
Just takes
inside
finesse.
spin,
He
yeah.
just takes finesse. Hey, he was trying to get it there
He
behind
really
the 7
was.
ball.
That was a good try. You put a little stroke on this, 2 rails.
Yeah, it's not really all that much power involved, though. No, it's actually 3 rails. You spin the ball in, and then you hit the cue ball just before the side pocket.
Okay.
And then it'll hit the 3rd rail and should get a good shot on the 7 ball. And it's a good shot to shoot with the ball on the rail like it is. That's what he tried to do, was just get a shot. I think that what happened is just he was a little bit quick in pulling the trigger. You get down, you got to be a little bit more disciplined in what you're doing there, because he had a good idea and he could have got away with it.
stroke. I like him to get out here.
I really didn't care for that draw to do that. He could have went forward and hit the rail and got the 8-ball much better. It would have been more consistent too.
Yeah. Coming into it versus crossing it.
Yeah.
That was a good shot.
This here is my favorite shot.
The winning shot?
Yeah, in this position. Except for the bridge part.
Yeah, the bridge part. I could do without. I think we got a match, Frank.
Yeah, 8-7.
7.
What game is Nancy playing on the other table? Is that 8-ball?
It is 8-ball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
Nancy
so they
captains
play
it.
8-ball and 9-ball, not 10-ball. Yeah, I
Right.
can see that because they're lower level players,
Right.
and 10-ball is just too difficult.
I personally like big table 8-ball, but not so much on the bar box.
You know, bar table 8-ball is actually more difficult than
a lot more
than
difficult.
big table 8-ball. But 9-ball is just the opposite. It's more
Right.
difficult on the big table and easier on the bar table.
Yeah. You'd have to move the cue ball as much. Oh, wow.
He's gonna play the 9-ball.
I think he's going to go for 3
He-
fouls.
You think so?
So I don't know if the 2-ball passes the 9-ball.
Well, see if you, I don't know how it's sitting, but you could play the 1, 10, 9, and then you leave the 10-ball hanging, and the 1-ball's in front, so then you play the 10-ball after that.
Yeah.
I think it's not sitting right for that, though.
He got him. That was a good shot.
Now he's got 2 rail kick at it.
This is a key hit right here.
Yeah, that's a tough one. You know, I really like coming out by the 3-ball, 2 rails, coming out of those 2 rails.
Yeah.
And even if you got a masse gently to do that, that's a better shot than this one.
The window's so tiny to sweep
Yeah,
by that 4
because
ball.
he got to backspin the ball to come back.
Yeah, no shot.
Yeah, with a difficult shot like that, you know, you can't just get down and throw your stick at it. You got to really aim, concentrate, see what you got to do, and stay. You put your mind on it. I think he shot it a little bit too quick.
Well, especially when now you're looking at getting 3 fouled in a game that's going to tie the match
Oh, he's on
up.
2 now, right?
He's on 2, yeah.
He's looking for it. He wants the position now, cue ball behind the 2.
What do you think about thinning the 1 into the 2 and coming from the bottom rail and hiding behind the 10-4?
Yeah, I like leaving for the third final. I like leaving the object ball real tight to another ball.
Oh wow! I think he got him. Just notified Chris that he's on 2.
He just told him, you know what, the 6 ball's gonna wait for the 3-railer here.
That was a good shot.
No, I guess the 6 is not really in the way, but it might be better to go 3 rails than 1 rail. If he's got to backspin it to get past the 7 ball.
Yeah.
Because the 3 rails, there's a lot of ways to hit it coming at it.
Mm-hmm. Wow. 3 fouls would tie it up. We got a ball game, Frank.
8-8.
8-8. We got a match.
These guys might be shooting spot shots soon, eh?
We might have a little spot shot action coming up.
Well, these would be the last 2 players, right? Either they split the games or somebody wins 2.
Yep. It's coming down to this last match. I kind of like Sullivan coming up big.
Wow, nice break.
Good break. Uh-oh. Needed more right spin on that.
Two rails. Yeah.
2 rails, yeah.
When a ball is sitting like the 2 ball is, the 2 rails is a good kick because there's a lot of ways of hitting it.
Table's pretty wide open.
Yeah, but nothing's easy now with all the tension because of the score, how tight it is.
Exactly.
I think this is the key shot right here.
Yeah, if you can get good on the 6.
You need to get a good angle to get on that 7 ball.
Don't think that was it.
I think he's got the wrong angle here to run
Yeah, he's
forward.
on the wrong side.
I want you to watch the hit, Scott.
I think Corey's going to get it.
Well, he's got the right angle here.
He's got a real good angle to
This
get on
is
the
a
7.
nice angle to get on the 7.
Yeah. That's like ball and handshake.
Oh, he should have stabbed at it instead of rolling it.
Yeah.
A little stun shot would have got him perfect.
Looks like he got him.
Yeah, he's gonna have to go up and down.
Nice.
Nice.
A little too firm. Right idea. He still left him jacked up over the 8. He's going to have to hit this really good with inside English. Come around 3 rails. Play short side.
You know, cutting the ball to his right, to the corner right, takes him just right to the 8 ball, and it'll give separation on the 7 and the cue ball in case he misses it.
Yeah.
And instead of going that way, if he went to the other pocket, he could have rolled it.
Look at that, he got a roll. Are we doing a single 3 shots for tonight?
No, just like regular league, 2 shots per player, right?
Alright.
What if they
That's it. Yeah, we can do that.
I mean, just keep doing it.
Well, 2 things here. You want to be off the rail when you're shooting the 8, and you don't want to be straight in.
Yep.
That'll work. A little high left.
I like a little more angle and then just come off the end rail. I would have shot more of a cut shot on the 8. Easier to get on the 9.
I definitely wouldn't go bottom. I'd go high left on it.
Yeah. Good shot. Can Miguel take the 10 ball rack or force the spot shots?
Now, are we looking at right now? It's 9-8, correct?
Correct.
And if it winds up 9-9, is that the tiebreaker then?
Yeah, then we're shooting spot shots. So each player on the roster will have 2 spot shots, and whoever comes up ahead will win the match.
total?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I would like to see that.
It's exciting. Uh-oh.
A lot of balls to run here.
Yeah.
3 balls tough.
he gets good on the 2, though. The 2 to the 3 is pretty easy. The 4 ball is pretty tied up, though.
Yeah, the 4 ball has only one pocket, and that's to the other end of the table.
I can't get a good angle at it, but the combination
You know
of
what?
4-6 might be dead.
Maybe the position on the 310
It's possible.
is probably one of the better options here.
Yeah, being as the 4 ball's tied up, it's really not a bad
Yeah,
option.
because of the 4 ball. Well, we'll know in a minute.
He's got the angle to get right on that.
Yeah. He's going low. That means no.
I think I would have been more aggressive on that.
Well, if he's going to play combination, then why not play the combination on the one that wins you the game?
Exactly.
Scott, unlike other teams, there's no timeouts allowed.
No timeouts, no coaching.
Okay.
He's actually got a decent angle to come around
You
and
get
shoot
two rails
the ball on
in,
the
yeah.
other side, the
Yeah.
same corner.
Looks like he got there.
Great shot. And he's got a little angle to come across for the 5.
He's got just enough angle to be able to get on the 5. The thing now that we're at the stage of the game where you have to commit yourself to go all the way now, because a miss now could turn the table over and let your opponent win.
Right. Put a good stroke on that.
Well, he's got two options: slow roll it and play the 6 up with the other end of the table, and draw it back, or draw it back with right bottom.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple. It looks
Follow
like,
this up, and he has a nice angle on the 7 and get over for the 8.
I think it's just a matter now of making this ball here, and the game is his.
Oh.
Well, it looks like the pressure's on here. This is one of those shots that you got to play to win. I don't think the safety's any good here.
No, you got to play to run out here. Oh, left it tough.
Well, it's not a dead giveaway. What do you like here, Scott?
I like spinning it in with a little high right, holding the cue ball at the 7. I don't like going up and down on this.
I think maybe playing that 6 ball 2 rails behind the 10 ball is not a bad option. They give a lot of distance because it allows you to stick the cue ball right on the rail.
Yeah.
When it comes to crunch time, I like to have my opponent be the one that has to make that difficult shot, because you're under pressure. He's also under pressure.
Sure.
Oh, he's got a nice angle here.
Looking pretty good.
Yeah. Just get up close to the 8 ball.
Looking pretty good. Spot shots, here we come.
Don't do the commentary. Yeah, jinx.
Commentator's jinx.
Just roll it. Oh, you should have just rolled it.
Made it a little more difficult than it needed to be.
Yeah.
Spot shots.
Wow.
You want to go in and see the spot shots?
No. I'll do it if need be. It's just like regular season.
I don't think I've ever done it right.
Well, we get to see the whole thing on this format, all the way down to the spot shots.
Yeah, playing order. Corey, each player.
And the winner advances to the next round.
Exactly.
Great.
So each of the players on the roster will shoot 2 spot shots. It'll alternate back and forth, and whoever makes the most wins.
Sounds simple enough.
We got Alex up first for the Railbirds.
Making the ball, what if you scratch?
It has to be a legal shot, so if
Okay.
he scratches, it doesn't count. Railbirds are on the board.
Hey, Scott, pretty exciting that our viewers get to watch the whole format here with
Yeah.
all the way down to the spot shots.
Not bad.
Does that count?
No.
Must be called.
We're tied up at 1 apiece. With authority. Does not count.
He turned that ball a little bit, put a little bit of ride on it.
Yeah, he
but
did.
Without the ride, he gets nowhere near the scratch.
Tough. Centennials have a chance to take the lead here.
Oh, yeah, that was a nice one.
Discount one. So was that? What's the score? 2-1.
Yes. Wow, that was big.
Oh, almost crashed. Yeah, he hit those two real nice, real
He
pretty.
hit him good. The guy that forced the playoff put him ahead.
Yeah, he's the MVP so far.
So Silva needs both of these to give him a shot to advance.
I don't
That's
like the
it.
slow rolling.
That's it. That's it.
Centennials win the match.
So Centennials wins the match. They'll forward. They'll advance on to the championship match, and the Railbirds will play the consolation third place match. And we'll be getting going with the other semifinal here shortly.
So new 5. Yeah.